So guys, welcome to the TechCoreEasy YouTube channel. In previous videos, we have seen the theoretical Kafka introduction. We also seen that how to set up the Kafka Docker in your local environment. In today's session, we will see how to write a Kafka producer and Kafka consumer inside the Python. We will also see that how these producer can produce some messages to the Kafka topic, and the same messages we will consume through a Python by writing the Kafka consumer. In today's session, I would also like to show you how the Kafka group concept works. So all these discussion and all these knowledge transfer will be practically done. So let's begin. So as I have shown you in a previous video, if you have yet not watched how to set up the Kafka Docker in your local environment, then I would request please before this video, please see that video. That will help you a lot to keep you on board. So let's begin. What I will, as a part of step 1, what I will do is I will boot up the Kafka cluster in my local environment. It will be very easy for me. I'll just do docker compose up -d. I still say, if you don't know these, please visit our previous video, how to set up the Kafka Docker in your local environment. Then you will understand each step very easily. So I'm saying that, and that is constructing one Kafka cluster with one broker and one zookeeper in my local environment. Now what I will do is that I will create one topic on this broker. How to do that? I have already shown you in previous videos. I'll also do it now. So I'll say docker execute -it. Before that, I need to know that where it is running. So I'll just say docker compose ps. Okay. Docker compose ps. Now I will say docker exec -it Kafka Docker. This is my broker. I'm connecting to my Docker through what? Then I'll say through Kafka topics.sh. I'll say my bootstrap server is running on 9092. As you can see on the upside here, it is running on 9092 inside the Docker TCP. I'll say -create -topic t1, and that will create a Kafka topic for me. Let me just quickly describe this topic. So I will say describe, and here it is. This topic has one partition. As I haven't mentioned any replicas, so there is a one replica. This is my broker, and one broker is the leader, is the only leader, because it is a single machine cluster. So this is my topic T1, which is up and running, as you guys can see. Now what we will do is we will write one producer and one consumer in a Python, and we'll try to connect to this topic. We'll push some messages to this topic, and we'll consume on other hand those same messages inside the consumer. So let's begin. So as you guys can see here, I have my producer and this is my consumer. Let's focus on these two first. So let me explain you this Kafka producer. So this is a very simple 5 lines of code for a Kafka producer. What you need to do is you just need to install the pip install Kafka Python. This is a library which will give you the Kafka producer and Kafka consumer classes. So you can create an object out of it, and then you can send the messages. So let's see. What I have done is I have imported Kafka producer here. This is Kafka producer, which takes the two argument. One is a bootstrap server. So it needs to know where it need to push the messages. What is the address of those machine where it need to publish those messages. By default, it would be localhost 9092. We need to check what it is in our case. So as you guys can see, this is a bootstrap server ID in our case. The port is 32768. So what we will do is we'll come here and we'll change it 32768. So this would be our bootstrap server address. And the second argument is a value serializer. What these value serializer will do is you can serialize it in many ways. You can either make it string, you can make it JSON, you can keep it Avro. So here what I'm doing is I'm just taking each value, put it into the JSON and encoding it with UTF-8. So this is a value serializer, how I want to serialize my messages inside the Kafka. Now here simple what I'm doing is I'm taking a range of 1 to 100. So consider these as a list of 1 till 99, and I'm rotating it in a for loop. So in the first iteration here it will come 1, 2, 3 and so forth till 99. Now I'm calling the same producer object which I have created in my previous step by using the Kafka producer class. Now I'm using the send method, and what I'm doing is please send it to the T1 topic which we just created here. This is my T1 topic, and what I'm saying is that my value is hello, and the value would be in a for loop whatever it comes 1 2 3 4 5. So this will be my message, hello 1, hello 2, hello 3 till 99. This is my messages what I want to push to the T1 topic. Like that I want to push the 100 messages, and I'm keeping some time as a part of the acknowledgement back. Now on other hand, I will write one consumer. What that consumer is doing is, it is again from the same Kafka library which we have just installed, the Kafka consumer. Here it takes again the bootstrap server from where it need to read. So it has to be the same where we push. So let me just quickly take these IP and change it here. So from here I want to read from which, what is the topic name. So I'll say T1 is my topic name from where I want to read. Then it says auto offset reset. That means from where you want to read, from which offset you want to read. If you want to know more about this offset keyword, please visit our Kafka introduction video that will help you to understand this. So auto offset reset means from where you want to read. Do you want to read it from particular offset, or you want to read from the latest, so the new one which get pushed, or you want to read it from the earliest, so from the start, whatever the messages will be there inside the topic, all will start consuming it. And then what would be the auto commit, when you will say that you have read your messages, when I would say that okay, I have read that messages. So I'll say true. Make sure that your consumer commits its read offset every interval, so it gives the acknowledgement back to the topic that I have read this message. And then here you can also mention the auto commit interval, at what interval you want to commit the message you have read. And then there is a last argument which is a group ID, where you will say that which group is a part, this consumer is a part of which group. So I'll say TechCoreEasy 1. Again, I'll say, if you don't know the theory about Kafka group, please visit our Kafka introduction video. So by doing this, I'm initiating one consumer object. This object is made up of Kafka consumer class, which basically takes these basic arguments, which I have just explained to you. Now, what we need is, I am saying that this is my consumer, and each message what I read from this consumer, please print that. So now what we will do is that we will produce some message which I just told you from 1 to 100, and we will read those messages here, and we will see this behavior here on the terminal. So let me just quickly run the consumer. Yes, so I just say here run Kafka consumer, and my consumer is up and running. It is always listening from my topic from the given address. It's up and running. Now what I will say is, let me say run these. What that will run is, that will basically put hello 1, hello 2, like 100 messages to this topic. So let me say, and those messages should appear here in the consumer console. So let me say run Kafka producer. So when I say these, those messages should come here, and as you can see here, those messages are there. Let me keep some interval, more interval, which will give you some runtime view. So let me again reboot this consumer. Let me rerun these producer. So now I'll show you that these 100 messages what we produce here will come back in this consumer. You see, still if I say again 100, and you see these messages are coming here in the consumer console till 99. So this is how Kafka producer and Kafka consumer, we can write it in a Python. So this way we can write the Python application by using the Kafka inside the PyCharm. Now I will tell you very important concept in a practical about consumer group. Understand that you have one application, one Kafka consumer. The work of this Kafka consumer is to read some messages from the topic and put it into the database. But what if you have millions of messages per second coming inside this topic? One application cannot be sufficient to handle, one consumer cannot be sufficient enough to consume 1 million message per second, right? So you need to write a multiple consumers. In order to satisfy this requirement, you just need to make sure that all the group ID of your all consumer be same. In that case, one message, whichever message will go to any consumer, will not go to the another one in the same group. This is very important to understand. And vice versa. What if you have a two application? Application of one consumer is to read this message and put it into the database, whereas the application of second type of consumer is to read this message, do some aggregation on that, or do some XYZ work on that, and to put it into some other database, not on the same database. In that case, you need to split that record to both these consumers, and you need to make sure that these messages which are coming from the producer should go correctly to both the consumer correctly. So one consumer can put it into the database and second do some aggregation and then put it into some another database. So what to show you this behavior, what I will do is I have created one another consumer which is exactly same consumer. Let me just also keep these IP address is same. It is exactly the same consumer. Here what trick I am doing is, if you can see, the group ID is a TechCoreEasy 1. Here I am making the group ID TechCoreEasy 2. So both the group ID is different, and these will make sure that the messages coming from the producer will go to the both consumer, not only the one. So let me quickly boot it up these group as well. So as you can see here, now I have a two group. Let me restart this group as well. I have a two group, and when I will produce the message again, the same message, it should again go to the both group, not only to the one group. So here I have run the Kafka producer, which will basically produce these same message, hello 1, hello 2, like that, into both consumer. So as you can see, in the first consumer it's already there, and it as you can see in the second consumer also it is already there. So what these messages look like, it gives you a good metadata, like it is a topic T1, partition 0, offset value, timestamp type, key. We haven't mentioned any key here, you can mention while sending if you want, and the value is your JSON, serialized JSON, which is hello 1, hello 2, hello 3 till hello 99, and it gives you some nice checksum and serialized key. Here the -1 means the auto acknowledgement, that it is acknowledged, and serialized value size. So this is how a nice metadata of your consumer record looks like. And now let me quickly show you again by producing these messages. See, here the messages are coming in one consumer, and in second consumer also the same messages are coming. This is how you can send one message of the Kafka topic to the many consumer as you want, and all consumer can do the different process on the same message, and Kafka makes sure that it correctly go to the each consumer you have mentioned. Just the trick is that you have to give the different group ID. What if I give the same group ID of the two applications? This is a TechCoreEasy 1, and here also let me just quickly give the TechCoreEasy 1 only, and let me just restart this application. And what if now I push the Kafka producer? What it will do is, let's quickly watch. It will only push the messages to any of the one consumer, because they both have the same group. If the many consumer have the one group, the messages will go to any one of them, not to the all. So let's see to which consumer it is coming. It came here to this consumer, and it did not came to this consumer because they both are belong to the same group. Here, however, the all messages came to the one topic only, but sometimes it happened that you can distribute that I want a 50 here and 50 here. Like, you can give many strategies for this distribution. To know more about that, please watch our Kafka introduction video. And this is how Kafka group concept work inside the practical application. So today we have seen how to write a Python consumer and Python producer for Kafka, And we have also seen how the Kafka group concept works in a practical. So in the next, we will also see some of the more interesting features about Kafka and about any different technologies, other different interesting technologies. If you want to have some request for a specific video, please comment below. We will make the nice easy explanation for you guys. I hope you liked our video. If our understanding is right, then please like and subscribe to our channel. These will help us to keep us motivated to put some more videos for you. Thank you.